and welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Alright you guys, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Saturday morning. I am up, I am Adam. It is like 6:15 in the morning. 6:15 and I am up recording a video. That is what you call dedication, okay? That's what you call focus. Get you some of that focus. So it's Saturday, I got a lot of errands and stuff to run. I was kind of thinking about trying to blog, right? I know it's Blogtober, so I see YouTubers who are doing their blog thing. And I keep contemplating about, you know, this whole blogging thing. But I don't know, I'm just such a shy person in person, believe it or not. I'm extremely shy, not extremely, okay? Because I'll speak, I'll say hello, I'll have general conversations. But normally I'm just a person who goes out, minds my business, and keeps to myself. But, blogging just feels so intrusive to me, right? To people who are out shopping and doing their thing, for me to be having a camera up recording them as they go about their day and not wanting to be on camera myself just seems a little hypocritical, right? So I'm trying to find a groove between vlogging and that sort of thing. And also, I just don't like the amount of heat, right? When you're out there holding up a camera, everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What gives? So, you know, I'm going to maybe try, I don't know. I just don't know if vlogging is for me, but we'll see. So anyway, it is Saturday morning. And there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk about Donald Trump. And of course, I want to talk about Lil Boosie, because Lil Boosie just won't stop. He has become the Annette Funicello of hip-hop at this point. If you don't know who she is, research it. So let's start with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump has lost his mind. Well, he lost his mind a long time ago. But the more he speaks, the dumber you realize. I remember there was a quote that said, sometimes it is better to be silent and thought of as a fool rather to speak up and remove all doubts. And that's how I feel about Donald Trump. He can't possibly be this ignorant. I just refuse to believe that he is just this dumb. This hateful, this bigoted, absolutely. And what I'm talking about is this whole Haitian migrant thing. You know, this has been going on for a month or so, maybe almost 2 months. I'm not quite sure exactly what the timeline is at this point. But we know that they had some issues down in Haiti, hurricane that basically displaced a lot of people. And a lot of those people are seeking refuge in other places, you know, Puerto Rico, Mexico, and now the U.S. And so they've been down at this bridge in Texas, and we've seen Border Patrol chasing them with whips and chains, harkening back to days of slavery. And now here comes Donald Trump to add, you know, to sprinkle his little salt on top of everything else. So Donald Trump recently said that the Haitian migrants, if allowed into this country, are essentially bringing AIDS and HIV into the country. Bruh. That's so stupid, right? Now for me, this is the epitome of gaslighting. This is the epitome of gaslighting. Like, just say you don't want black people in the country. Now, I know you don't want to say that because you don't want to alienate the 1 or 2 black supporters that you have. So you don't want to just blatantly say that. But if you are a black person who supports Trump, how can you look at yourself in the face and be okay with that? If you are an LGBTQIAP plus person who supports Trump, how can you honestly look and support yourself in the face? And I'm not even telling you that you should support Joe Biden, right? I just want to understand how you support Trump. I just want to understand how you are able to justify that internally. How your spirit is able to be okay with supporting Donald Trump, because I don't get it. I don't. And here's the thing. They don't want... The bottom line is this is not even about black people. Well, yes, it's about black people. This is about the right being afraid of their diminishing voter block, their diminishing power. And you know that the more color that comes into this country, whether it's black or Hispanic, what have you, that typically these people are not coming into this country healthy, financially wealthy, well-to-do, well-heeled people. They're going to be at the lower end of the financial totem pole. And typically those people tend to vote Democrat if they do in fact vote. And the right doesn't want that. Doesn't want that. But who cares? Who cares? You see all of these people, and what is it? How many people down at the Haitian border? Not that many. Not enough to swing an election. You know, not enough to have an impact on an election. And how long is it going to take them to actually vote if they can't after they're naturalized? Like, we're talking, girl, move. Well, what Trump said about these Haitian immigrants or would-be immigrants wanting to get their American citizenship or become refugees here in the U.S. It's to me equivalent to what the baby said at the Rolling Loud concert. How do you know that these people have HIV/AIDS? How do you know? Now, the thing that really gets me about this is that we're talking about Trump, and we all know for the last 2 years, Trump supporters have refused to get vaccinated, refused to wear masks, refused to socially distance. Like, Trump supporters have probably been indirectly or directly responsible for innumerable deaths associated with COVID by just simply refusing to adhere to social standards based on CDC recommendations. But suddenly you're concerned about public health. So public health is only important to you when it's being threatened by people of color, quote unquote. And not even truly being threatened, being gaslit, right? You don't know what these people have or don't have. Could there potentially be someone amongst them who has HIV? Absolutely. Absolutely. But guess what? Here in America, we do have services available to those who are HIV positive, those who may have AIDS. And if they are in need of health care, can we not be kind enough to at least offer that? But meanwhile, Trump supporters around here just coughing on everything moving. Coughing on everything moving. And got the nerve to have an attitude about it. Ask a Trump supporter to put on a mask. Baby, be prepared to scrap. Be prepared to scrap. So when he talks about Haitian immigrants, all I can do is just shake my head. Like, it's just ridiculous. Now, on the flip side of things, because you know I like to play devil's advocate, you know, I get what people are saying about just letting people come into this country. I get that. We don't know these people. We haven't vetted these people. We don't know who they are, who they're associated to, you know. So bringing them into the country, I'm going to tell you something, right? For me, as a black trans woman, when I see these people coming from, you know, these third world countries, a lot of them are super religious, dogmatic, who come over here, who have prejudices against the LGBTQIAP plus community. Yes, you know, a lot of these countries where where missionaries have visited and brought Christianity to them, they harbor a lot of hate towards the LGBTQIA plus community. So when I watch people down there at the border, I honestly think to myself, well, you know, how many of them would discriminate or hate against me? I don't know, right? And in spite of having those thoughts, when I see a person hurting, my natural inclination is to want to help and to assist. So even though I may have certain feelings associated with it, those feelings are just feelings. They are not facts, right? Feelings are not facts. So just because I feel that way doesn't mean that I shouldn't give a person an opportunity, because sometimes giving a person an opportunity is what builds that bridge or builds that connection. So I get to a small degree on a personal level why people may have some apprehensions about letting people into the country that they're not familiar with. I get that. But I still say the number of people who are trying to come into the country here, think about this. If you didn't walk your ass all the way from Haiti through Mexico, I don't know how you got there. If you drove, if you biked, if you hiked, I don't know what means of transportation you used to get down to that Texas border. But what you left behind had to be something horrible. It had to be something awful. You know, babies with moms. Do you know how hard it is to travel with a baby here in the U.S. with a car seat and, you know, locking the baby into the car and making sure the car seat is properly fit? And, you know, all of the getting the baby stroller out and, you know, setting it up and pushing, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So imagine that compounded by traveling from Haiti all the way to the U.S. through whatever means. That to me says it's bad. Life is bad, and I'm trying to get to some place where I feel safe, some place where I have an opportunity. Please give me a chance. Please give me a chance. So, in spite of whatever feelings or whatever reservations that I have, just from a human perspective, when I look at it and look at the amount of work, effort, time, and energy that these people took to get there, it's like, you know, in a horror movie, you see someone who's running from the murderer, and they get to the house and they're knocking on the door, let me in, and the person on the inside is like watching them, and then you see the murderer come up and just stab them in the back, and they just melt down the door. And you're like, damn girl, why you didn't open the door to help her out? That's kind of what this whole border thing, you have all these people running from a murderer. They are running from Michael Myers, whoever, Freddy Krueger. They're running from the murderer. They are at the door begging for help and assistance, and meanwhile we're in the kitchen making eggs and bacon, acting like we don't see them, like they're Jehovah's Witnesses out here trying to bring us a watchtower. Oh my God, like, come on, people. We gotta be kinder and more thoughtful. So, I don't know what's up with Donald Trump, but he needs to cut it out. And just be honest, just say I don't want more black people here. Just say that. Like, I get so sick and tired of people trying to piss in my face and tell me it's raining. I see it for what it is. All right, you guys. So I want to talk about one more subject before I get out of here. And that is your boy Lil Boosie. And you know, when I talk about Lil Boosie on my channel, I wonder, do people like actually know who he is? I wonder, do they know? Like, because I can't think of one song. I know one Lil Boosie song. One, Wipe Me Down. That song is probably like 20 plus years old. 20, and I hated it back then. I hated that song way back when. That's the only song I know by Lil Boosie. And all I know of the song is Wipe Me Down. And the twang in his voice. But anyway, he has since gained prominence by being sort of the anti-Lil Nas Xer. Lil Boosie cannot take Lil Nas X and Lil Nas X's spirit. He won't leave this man alone. At this point, he's like a sidekick. Lil Nas X is Batman and Lil Boosie is Robin, right? He just continues to attach himself to Lil Nas X's brand. So, if you guys know anything about Lil Nas X, he released his album, Montero, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? And I listened to the album. Actually, a really, really solid album for what it is. Like, is it a life-changing album? No. But is it a good album? Yeah, definitely a couple of songs. Dead Right Now, to me, is my jam. So, I've been playing that since I downloaded the album. But Lil Boosie did an interview with VLAAD TV recently. I did not, let me say this. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I did not watch this interview. I'm not going to pretend like I watched this interview. I'm not going to speak to you from a point of view like I've seen the interview, because I haven't. I haven't seen the interview because I have no desire to see the interview. I try to be intentional about what I consume. Unless it's dessert. I'm reckless with that dessert, y'all. Don't you put no cake in front of me. But outside of dessert, I try to be intentional about the things that I consume. So when I hear that there's a Lil Boosie interview, I've seen and heard enough to understand his point of view. That I don't need to, I don't believe in putting, whether it's my viewership, my money, my time, I don't believe in putting things that are of value, because time is a commodity. Time is a commodity. That's why you spend it. You know, you're spending time with someone. So I don't believe in giving my time to things like Lil Boosie. I can't, because see, here's the one thing you must understand about ignorance. Lil Boosie has been ignorant for a long time. Y'all see the bags under his eye. Still been ignorant for a minute. For a minute, right? She about here looking like a goddamn meerkat by the eyes. And, you know, I just don't understand why she is so, let me not disrespect him and call him she, right? Because it's disrespectful for me to call Lil Boosie she when I tell people, you know, to respect my pronouns, right? So let me reframe that. Let me be respectful. Even though I disagree with his point of view, you know, let me reframe that. Not fair of me to do that. You see that? I wish more people had awarenesses like that, right? I wish they did, because it would be hypocritical of me to sit here on this video, disrespect this man using all female pronouns to describe him, but then ask people to respect me. So the light bulb just went off in my head to, you know, I take that back. That was wrong of me to do. So I wanted to say, it's just amazing to me how much, well, let me go back to my point. I don't put my time and energy into things that do not serve me. And Lil Boosie does not serve me. He does not intend for positivity and light to be shown in my direction. So I don't give him any of mine, right? I'm not going to watch a Lil Boosie video. I'm not going to listen to I'm not giving you anything, nothing that shows any sign of support. Because see, the haters don't realize sometimes you're helping to drive that person's support. Like people who hate trans women who come over here and leave all these vitriolic comments on my page don't realize that they're still pushing me up in the algorithm. So thank you. I appreciate it. You know, whether it's a like, a thumbs down, a negative comment, baby, you're still boosting me in that algorithm. Thank you. I kindly thank you for that. And so me being conscious of that and having awareness of that, when it comes to people like Lil Boosie, I do not watch. I do not watch. I do not support. Can't do it. So in this interview with VLAAD TV, he goes on to talk about the artwork for the Montero album, where Lil Nas X is essentially pregnant, which is basically sort of a metaphor for him giving birth to his project. His project is his baby, and he's giving birth to it. And so that was sort of the theme around the album. And so Lil Boosie, who they kicked out of Instagram more times than a town drunk at the local bar, he feels away because he feels like, okay, well, if Lil Nas X can be pregnant on Instagram and that's allowed, how come women aren't allowed to show their camel toe and their areola on like the imprint, the shadow of their bust on Instagram? Now, I'm sorry, I'm not getting the connection between the two, but all right, Lil Boosie. All right, if you want to draw a comparison to the two. Now, while I may not be particularly drawn to the image of a camel toe, I certainly don't mind the image of a basket, of a package. And if memory serves me correctly, it was about maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, there was this huge picture of Jason Derulo, where Jason Derulo put all his business on Instagram. Now, it was just, you know, a silhouette, if you will, but I believe it got taken down. And a lot of people were upset. A lot of people were upset about, you know, Jason Derulo's print being taken down off of Instagram. So Instagram doesn't necessarily differentiate between male or female. If you are showing the print, and I didn't even know anything about this whole camel toe thing, honestly, you guys. But apparently it's a thing. But what does that have to do with Lil Nas X? And if your beef is with Instagram, why don't you have the beef with Instagram? Why do you keep trying to bring Lil Nas X into the conversation in some way, shape, or form? You know why? Because you know Lil Nas X is interesting and drives viewership, and you don't. And you're calling Lil Nas X a troll. I'm confused. You keep talking about Lil Nas X, but somehow in your mind you've convinced yourself that you're the victim in this equation and you're the troll. And you know, it bothers me, right, that Lil Boosie keeps doing all of these interviews with these news outlets or these social media outlets, the VLAAD TVs, the Breakfast Clubs, and people keep asking him about Lil Nas X, but no one ever pushes back on him for talking about how he brought a prostitute. I can't remember if it was to his underage son or his nephew, but some male in his family, he brought a prostitute to service them. A child. Do you know how sick and twisted you have to be to do something like that? But I never hear people push back. They act like it never happened. They say absolutely nothing about it. But meanwhile, he's concerned about children and talking about Lil Nas X. And Lil Nas X is out here just living his best life. Living his best life. And Lil Boosie can't stand it. And suddenly he's become the quote-unquote morality police for the black community. I think it was T.I. that said the culture elected him. What culture? What culture? Listen, I'm black. Lil Boosie does not speak for me. Because like it or not, my trans ASS is a part of the culture. And Lil Boosie ain't talking about nothing that I want to hear. That's a zero. That's a zero. So anyway, you guys, let me get ready to get out of here so I can get my day started. I'm sure my baby is hopefully trying to wake up. That's the thing. Sometimes he will sleep all day. And sometimes I just get angry and I want to punch him. Because he's sleeping so good and I can't sleep at all. Like if I'm up there and you wake up, let's be insomniacs together, okay? He makes me sick being not able to sleep all good. Anyway, you guys, do me a huge favor. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Mass Trans, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye-bye.